What's up?
Nothing. A
What are you
lot better now.
doing? What are you doing? What do you mean a lot better now?
Because I'm with the Dig Deep, baby.
You already know. I love you. I miss you. Thank you for coming on and chatting with me, baby.
Of
I,
course.
you know, wanted to promote togetherness during this time, and catch up with people and see how they're coping and, just see what's going on. So introduce yourself, tell people who you are, and tell them how we met.
Okay. Hello, guys. I'm Tito. I met Devora at the New York Now fashion show. We have done it together for 2 years in a row
Yes.
and more to come.
Yes.
Devora is the personality of the show that is behind the scenes, but seen all throughout the runway and all throughout every one of the people that are there because she just has the infectious personality that is in all of us as we're working.
Thank
And
you. And you're
she
much
is dig deep, baby.
and you are so much more than Tito. You are
Tell him,
like
baby.
you're just like a force. Um, not forceful, just a person who just knows what he's doing and how to do it. I respect you for being so fluid
No.
on the runway and within the wardrobe department and just coming to do something and doing it very very well. So of course we connected because hearts and hearts and minds and creatives. So this also allows me to learn a little bit more about you, and what you've been working on, since I last saw you in February. I know you were part of a couple of fashion weeks, so tell me about that.
So I did New York Fashion Week in February, and I walked for a couple. I walked in a collective show called The Capsule.
Mm-hmm.
I did that with EMG Models,
I
my
am.
agency in New York, and then in in the end of February, beginning of March, I
Mm-hmm.
did a couple shows in Paris for my first time,
Oh my
which was
God.
an amazing
I
experience.
know. Okay, so tell me about that. How did that come about? And how did you fucking kill that? Tell me how that felt.
So Paris came about through an agency that reached out to me through a great woman that I met actually that got me involved with New York Now. She is this woman. Her name is Sharina Delgado. She is
Yes, I
the
remember
owner.
her. Yeah, Straight
Okay,
Walk, right? Yeah.
exactly. She owns Straight
Yeah.
Walk Runway, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like a model training, model coaching, runway type of school. They do some
Mm-hmm.
castings. And she's just been around the fashion game for a little bit now, and
Right.
she wanted to start managing a couple models.
Right.
Well, she started reaching out um, to casting directors, and they started
Mm-hmm.
reaching back to her. And before she knew it, she had a need, a demand for
Right.
models,
Right.
and she opened up an agency called Elohim Models,
Okay.
and asked me if I wanted to sign and if I wanted to go participate in Paris Fashion Week and if she could submit me. And I said, absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
She's been
Yes.
great business
Right.
ever since I dealt with her from New
Right.
York Now on. It's been great.
Right.
And we went over to Paris for a week. I
Yeah.
walked in two shows. I did a few shoots. There's some
Okay.
publications coming, and
Yes.
it was a good time. It
Yes,
really
that's
was.
so good. That's so good. Respect to Sharina or Sharifa, I forget her name. But
Sharina.
excuse me, Sharina. She was beautiful. Very soft spoken, but got the job done. So she was a sweetheart. So blessings with that, and
Hmm.
congratulations on your signing. So
Thank
since
you.
Paris, you're back where? Where do you live? When you're not fucking ripping the runway in Paris.
I live in West Harlem, baby.
Boom. Okay, so I just left Harlem. I'm back in Brooklyn. And since you've been back and with this whole captivity thing
Hmm.
going on, what have you been doing? How have you been handling it?
So on March 16th, I'm also a student in New York. I'm about to graduate in May.
Oh, wait.
From
Let's hit that for a second. What are you studying?
I'm a visual arts major. So basically, what I tell people is I study what looks right.
Interesting.
That's my
Interesting.
job, to be
That's
able
beautiful.
to look at what other people like, and whatever interests them, and be able to come up with what they're trying to go for, or what is
Yeah.
the best visually pleasing thing that we
Okay.
can come out with based on whatever they're going for.
That sounds good. And what school are you graduating from?
Fordham University,
That's the
Lincoln Center,
bomb.
Midtown.
Yes. Okay. So that's a 4 year, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Got your back. Yeah.
the Jesuit School of New York.
Oh, interesting. So you're graduating in May.
Yes.
Okay, that's beautiful. Okay. All right. And my
But I
birthday.
don't know if there's going to be a graduation now because they called it off as of now.
Oh,
But
wait. I hope by that time, it's lifted. I mean,
yeah,
I was gonna say my birthday is in May on the 18th, and when I graduated, my graduation was like 3 days before. So I mean, you couldn't amount. I mean, I can't even calculate the amount of enthusiasm and happiness that I felt. So I know you are fucking through the moon, a ceremony or not, right?
either way, I'm glad to be accomplished.
Thank you for them. Goodbye.
Exactly.
Okay,
Got
tell
things to
me.
do.
So in school is out right now.
So yeah, back to school. So it let out, and then I was at in a position. It actually the same time school ended was a couple days before spring break was supposed to start. So I had spring break plans. I was
Right,
going to Vegas. I was doing all
right,
these things,
right.
and
Boom.
all done. Like it was all canceled because of the current situation,
Okay.
and I decided it was best for me to come back to Baltimore, which is where I was born and raised, and this is where my family is. And I'm glad I
Interesting.
did because New York has uh, got the situation's gotten a lot more serious there, and I feel safer here.
Right,
And
right,
I have a keyboard, I have myself, and I have school, so I'm busy.
right,
I'm
right, right,
working.
right. Exactly. So you're creating. It's plenty of time to do what you
hmm
need to do. And is your mom there with you?
I'm actually staying with my auntie, but
Okay.
my mom is right up the street, not too
Okay.
far.
Everybody is safe and healthy. Okay, that's so good. Okay, so Baltimore. All right. What are you thinking about what's going on? What are you thinking about that?
I think I'm thinking a lot, and I'm not thinking too deep. That's how it goes.
That's just
Um,
rapid, but you try not to go so deep that it really worries you.
and that's it. That's the word, right? That's one of the words: worry and fear, and the what ifs and
Yeah,
the could be's.
yeah,
I don't dive into that kind of stuff. I
yeah.
don't I don't play around in that. I know the dangers um of rumor and thinking of the worst case scenarios
Right, right.
constantly, and
Yes,
I
and
know that your
yeah,
energy has a
yes,
lot.
yeah,
Your
absolutely.
energy your energy is your well-being,
Yes,
and if you constantly fill your well-being with negativity, it's not going to be too well of a being.
yeah,
It's not.
definitely, definitely.
So for me, I really try not to
Mm-hmm,
entertain too much of the worst case scenarios,
mm-hmm.
the media. I hear what I have to hear,
Right,
and then I keep it moving. And I think what's most important right now for
right,
everyone is what are you doing outside of all that could happen, right?
right.
Everything could happen. You could
Yep,
be someone who contracts
yes.
this virus.
You could be deceased, all in all, right?
Quite
So,
honestly, it's
right,
happened.
definitely. Definitely. Less is more on the mental on this, being that you don't have any control over it. Usually in your day to day, you have it strategized. You know what you want to do, you know what you want to accomplish. This is like the total opposite, but most people are accomplishing more, which is, very interesting.
I would
And
put myself in that category. I'm
yeah,
getting so much personal growth, it's ridiculous.
right. Being on the go, during the time that we are obligated to, kind of takes precedence over personal, well-being and stuff like that. So a lot of people are feeling like, oh, thank goodness. Of course, we're not working and the money's not rolling in, but you like, thank you, thank you for this time, to allow me to get back and replenish, to myself. So definitely feeling that wave, watching mad movies, come up with this concept. Because of course I'm like, um, I'm gonna be needing to do something. I'm gonna be needing to talk to somebody. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know,
So I'm just like, yeah, this was a good way to go. And also, this is a time for, preparation. You know what I'm saying? All the thoughts I've had in my head, all the notes you write down in your notebooks, and all of these things are able to kind of get laid out. And then the tabs, go from 2 to 10. You know what I'm saying? But it
real
always
quick.
10 tabs to complete one job. So just having the time to bounce back and forth without, being distracted is very fucking valuable.
It
Um,
is.
so
And I
what?
think people are learning to tap into that right now. There's people like us, and when I say like us, the creatives that
Mm-hmm.
already tap into this kind of energy as much as we can. It's kind of like for me, it's my personal time. It's like that
Right.
time I want to be able to
Exactly.
get into my craft. Now that's the only time I have, you
Mm.
know? And
And
some people are
so
never
good.
used to being able to do what they want to do,
Want to do
produce what they want to produce. They're so used to doing what they have to do,
right.
and don't get me wrong, it's necessary when you have a
Right.
family, when
Right.
you're brought up a certain way, you go out there and you do what you're supposed to, you
Right.
do what you're told, and
Right.
that is life, and I
Right.
get it.
Right.
But now you're not being told to do anything. You don't have to do X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
have to figure out what you want
What
to
you want to
do
do?
and keep this
Ooh,
mental strong
and for some that could be challenging also.
or
You know,
scary.
yeah, for a person that is the latter. So we are definitely blessed, and I think something good is going to come out of this. So when you say your
Ooh, I know it.
keyboard, yes, when you say your keyboard, are you writing a song
Oh, I'm writing
or are you
songs, honey.
singing a song?
I'm writing and singing songs.
So
I'm
you write,
teaching myself to play the piano. Actually, I just told some friends this today because I
yeah.
just felt like I needed to. I'm teaching myself to play piano with my eyes closed, and it's like I never thought I had this in me. Never.
What? So literally, are you doing it? And how long ago did you start?
I started yesterday, and
Okay.
there's I don't know what you know about piano, but there's so many fundamental things that you have to drill, just like anything else, right? You
Okay.
have to practice the fundamentals. So
Right.
now I'm doing all the fundamental things, playing my scales, playing all my chords. I do that every day, but now I'm doing it with my eyes closed. So I know, like, for one, Ray Charles did it without a choice. I can do it. If
If he could do it, I can do it.
I
Okay.
have to, you know what I mean? That's a calling. That's a
A true
calling.
musician, a true musician, you got to.
So
You
yeah.
are you are too much. All right, so I want to hear you play your first song that you learned with your eyes closed the next time we talk, or some kind of riff or something.
Okay, I'll have a little chord progression put together for you, and I'll make sure I get my eyes nice and closed with the camera
Yes.
on it, and then we'll get it
We can,
going.
we can show the world who you are. Oh, musically. No, that sounds amazing. Once again, thank you so much, baby. Bless you and the family.
Of
Um,
course.
we'll get together again next week. And
Okay.
yes, stay creative, stay safe, and you already know. Sing to you, baby.
Dig deep, baby.
Mwah.
I love you, Devorah.
Good night. Mwah.